Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and welcome to another episode. Not an episode, but welcome to a special Christmas message. This Christmas message I could never forget to do to a wonderful couple. This is a Christmas message for Dave and Sally Abel. Some of you may not be familiar of Dave and Sally Abel, but, that's fine. I think some of you who are watching may already be remotely familiar of Dave and Sally Abel. A wonderful and a great couple one could follow. And even though they may be slightly outspoken, well, Dave can be slightly outspoken from time to time, but I like him very much, and I appreciate profoundly the friendship I have with him and his much-loved wife, Sally. And every year, I could never, in the run-up to Christmas, I could never forget to do a Christmas video for Dave and Sally Abel. It's always, I truly believe, is immensely important to always do a Christmas video for Dave and Sally Abel, just to say. And, I've been following Dave and Sally now for over 3 years. Nearly 4 years. It'll be 4 years in April of 2024 and 5 years in April of 2025. 2025 will be 5 years since I first found out and followed Dave and Sally Abel themselves. Oh, yes. Where was I? Wishing both yourself and your much-loved wife, Sally, a very happy Christmas, Dave and Sally. Wishing you both a very happy Christmas, or Merry Christmas to you both, if you two are watching. We all very much appreciate you, and I certainly appreciate you most sincerely for all the entertainment you respectfully provide, as well as your enthusiasm and interest in cruise ship excursions and all that, and as well as rail tour holiday excursions and all the rest of things. I appreciate you for all that you do, Dave and Sally. I truly do, as does everybody else who follows you. And it's because of you I've also made some wonderful new friends worldwide. And you'd be surprised, I even met one of your followers earlier this year twice. And in a way, we're now firm friends, I'm very happy to say, and that's my good friend Bill. But the one who I would just, if I meet her in the future, which will happen one day, I'd be overjoyed. I'd just be over the moon and overjoyed. It's only one person I am very greatly entrusting of within the Abel community. But don't get me wrong, I'm friends with many others, even though I'm not greatly entrusting of them, but I'm trusting of them in various other bits and pieces. There is one particular person. She's based over in Canada. In her youth, she made a great deal of money modelling. Well, I don't know if it was a great deal of money from modelling, but I know she modelled in her youth because she had the height of suitability for modelling, as far as I'm remotely certain. I don't know if she'd have it now that she's quite a bit older in age, but she had it in her prime. She had the right height for modelling in her prime day, because being a model, you have to be only over a certain height for men and women. I think for women, you have to be about 5'9", I think, around about 5'9", at the very least, or taller. Otherwise, you can't get into modelling. And for men, I think it's at the shortest about 5'11" to model. And sadly, I did not reach either of those heights, as I only peaked at 5'8". On the other hand, and I'm probably a bit heavy to model weight-wise, because I'm 11 stone as well, or 154 pounds, which is really quite Well, it's not huge, but it's fairly heavy for my height. But fortunately not overweight, luckily. But if I got any bigger than, say, 160 pounds, I don't think I'd be very happy. My limit is 140 to 160 pounds in weight. That's what I'd be satisfied with if my weight varied within that range. From 140 at the least, 140 pounds at the very least, to 160 pounds at the very heaviest. But getting to the point, the only one and only friend who I'm greatly, greatly entrusting and love absolutely dearly is lovely Heather from Canada. Had it not been for Dave and Sally Abel, I would never have befriended her and shown a great deal of entrusting nature towards this wonderful lady. Really. And the friendship I have with her, which we possessed as time went on, it means a lot. It really does. The more I saw her on the live chats, I just knew there was something very good about her, and I knew she's somebody. If I was like, well, if I one day make friends with this lovely Heather, I'm pretty sure I'm going to trust her well. She's always so lovely. Well, she is, Yes. So, yes. And before long, we eventually hit off a friendship. And not terribly long after sharing with her the story of my wonderful late grandfather Edmund, who sadly died back in February of 2020, as I did tell her all about it, which obviously deeply devastated myself and the family, and obviously most affected my grandmother Anne, who was, as you could imagine, most affected by the loss of my late grandfather Edmund, who passed away on the 18th of February of 2020, aged 73, nearly 8 months shy of turning 74, because he was born in October of 1946 and died in February of 2020, which is quite a great many months shy of his 74th birthday, as one could imagine. I did eventually overcome the loss of Edmund, but it really did take me a long time, given how great the loss was. But she's possessed an endearing philosophy, which is so relevant in our time of today, which is what lovely Heather possessed in herself. I'm pretty sure she's possessed this philosophy all her life, I'd very much imagine, which is people can die, but we do hold our memories forever in our hearts and minds. I mean, even though I did not completely overcome the loss when first hearing that, it did help, at least to some extent. But it really only took me at least a year or so, and obviously, probably not mention it, but never mind. Yes, but it was just a great, great loss. And the saying, it meant a lot when I heard it, as I was very, very deeply devastated when, as was all my family, and my grandmother worst affected by the loss of Edmund, my wonderful grandfather, as he meant a great deal to me when growing up and all that. So, I'm always thankful to Heather for it, not just for that endearing philosophy and philosophical saying, but the overall friendship I've been fortunate enough to have possessed with her over the last nearly 3.5 years, nearly 4 years. And over time I ended up making many more wonderful new friends, like that of Eileen, Joseph, Elizabeth, Kathleen, Ray and his lovely wife Rachel, Kira, that's Ireland by the way, she's located over in Ireland, and Emma, who's located over in Ireland, the Southern Republic of Ireland, that is. Who else is after Emma? Lovely, lovely Emma. There's Kathleen in Nantucket, Massachusetts. Joseph's Massachusetts. Elizabeth is a French lady who lives over in Hong Kong. She's very nice, quite loving, and She's deeply, deeply outspoken. If one could describe her, a funny way to describe her is she's the outspoken French lady located over in Hong Kong. Well, you could say that for sure. Yes, yes. Louise, lovely Louise Haywood. And many, many more. That's certainly. Oh, and Maggie from Canada. She's Canada-based like that of Heather, but Heather's Ontario, and Maggie is Quebec, as far as I'm certain. I think it's Quebec, or something like that. I'm long round about those lines, you know. Maggie wasn't always regularly in the chats, but back in when I first followed Dave and Sally, but I have sometimes seen her within the content, and I've sometimes conversed with her, you know, and now we've got a good friendship, which I am happy to have possessed now, you know. But one of the good things about Dave and Sally when they represented their content over the years I've represented it, they used to do a live stream every week, every Sunday from 2020 until 2021. Now they only live stream, if they can and whenever possible, once a month. But it's all right. Generally the first Sunday of every month. Normally, sometimes it used to start about 11 o'clock in the morning UK time, but I think it's now about 12 o'clock noon UK time now they live stream on the first Sunday of every month, which would be different time zones in the United States of America and Canada. You know. But I do appreciate it. For those of you who do follow Dave and Sally, I really appreciate the friendship. I know I've not been on many live streams as much lately since getting thrown into the enthralling interest of classic car and vintage rally and vintage vehicular running events, and the Hove Park Miniature Railway and Eastbourne Miniature Railway and those kinds of things, or sometimes an occasional family gathering event, which I obviously am expected to attend, as one could imagine. I've really not taken you for granted. I really do appreciate the friendship, even if I'm not always present on a live stream and having conversed conversations with Dave and Sally or all you, my wonderful friends. I really do very, very much appreciate the friendship, and I'm hoping it will stay strong, the friendship I've possessed and made with all of you for very, very many more years to come. You know. So, yes. And, you know, I appreciate you, Dave and Sally, and may your Christmas be a wonderful Christmas with your 3 wonderful children and all of your grandchildren, you know, as I know they mean very, very much to you, and they mean all the tremendously the world to you all your children and grandchildren, especially seeing you've spoken so highly of them a great many times and seeing how proud you are of them, you know. Very, very happy, very, very happy Merry Christmas to you all. And oh yes, a few other friends I'm missing. Sharon and Tim from New York, and also lovely Kathy from Canada. They're brilliant, wonderful new friends, I must say. Kathy McKay, that is, and Sharon Root, I was referring to. Thanks all for watching. Thanks Dave and Sally, particularly if you two are watching. Very happy Christmas to you both. And I hope your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day goes extremely well for you both. And I'm always, 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 for the rest of my life, all my life, I'm always going to appreciate you sincerely. And I will always love you both, as I will always love the lovely Heather, and I'll always be thinking fondly of you, even if I'm not always present within your content. Happy Christmas to you both, and happy Christmas to all of you, my wonderful friends, from Dave and Sally's content. And I hope you get up to something extremely, variably wonderful for Christmas. As Christmas, it's just a wonderful, wonderful time of year. Happy Christmas to you all and Dave and Sally.